to Eminence TV Live, our weekly rundown of tournaments, CEDH, and what's going on in the CEDH community. I am Scoots, very happy to be back and feeling much better. And I'm joined by Jamaican Dude from Playing with Power, and our fearless director, Mike, on the ones and twos. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Moxfield and the Epic Storm, without whom this wouldn't be so amazing. If you're enjoying Eminence content and would like to see more, please consider subscribing here on Twitch as we've gained affiliate status.
Whoop, whoop.
Just a note, if you have Amazon Prime, you get to subscribe to one channel a month for free. We'd love if you'd consider using that on us. This week is very exciting. We're going to tell you about some goings-on. We're going to talk about a rundown of the CEDH subreddit, some interesting links that we found, and we're joined later by a special guest, Thunderfarts, aka Cole, of Azami fame and also of finishing as a finalist in the latest Chaos tournament fame. We're going to talk a little bit about transitioning from a mono blue deck into other decks and how that transition has gone and different things that we can learn from that. It's going to be very fun. I'd like to kick us off with Eminence. All the notes, all the updates. Punt City, as you know, August 27th and 28th this month, in 3 weeks. Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. We have coming up next year, Silicon Dynasties in San Jose, California, in January of next year. And then next year, in March, we have Punt City 2, returning to Phoenixville, returning to the lovely Hilton Garden Inn, Valley Forge Oaks. And we would like to offer you the ability and the chance to keep tuning in for more info about the events coming in the second half of the year from us and beyond that. We hope that you'll come out and join us at some of those. In other news, there's more tournaments going on. We have Tier 1 MTG, their World Championships happening this weekend, August 5th, 6th, and 7th in Copenhagen, Denmark. I know that there's some content creators going there. Got some friends going there. I'm very excited to get the rundown from one of them after all this. I'm sure we'll have them on the show. Go out, have fun. And then we have Oktoberfest. That's put on by Monarch Events, Monarch Media, in Philadelphia, US, and it's November 18th, 19th, and 20th. I believe it's in downtown Philadelphia. So if you're at all interested in that, you should go find information on it. Ashani, how was your week?
My week was wasn't bad. On the outside of Magic. It was pretty good. We got some chores done, got some stuff done. My wife went out of town to try to make some moolah, so that was cool.
Nice.
We entered a Chaos 3 tournament where we went 2-2 on on 4-color Hulk, Sans Red Hulk.
Nice.
Yeah, so good showing. Ended at 18th.
Ended at 18th, just outside the bubble. Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. We got a bye, so it was good to see some cool decks in the wild. Some, misplays here and there from other players, but it was cool to get to play with
from other players only. Okay, all right.
Of course,
good.
Absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
Too perfect to make misplays. Come on now, Scoots.
You gotta start deflecting early.
Absolutely, gotta start deflecting early. So, no, it was a good tournament, good showing, and didn't make top 16, but a lot of the homies, a lot of the boys made top 16, and we should have one of the top 4 finalists here later on, so that would be cool.
Yeah, I was burying the lead a little bit there, but yeah, our guest was in fact in the final table of that event, so it'll be interesting to hear some stuff on that. This week for me, I survived COVID. That's all I did. That's all I did this week, pretty much, is be sick and sit here in this chair sick. So, I'm not sick anymore, or at least mostly not sick anymore. So, it's good to be back. I missed last week and I was super bummed, but here we are. Back at it. Mike, if you want to turn on your mic for a second and tell us how you're doing, I'd love to hear it. And if you're busy, I understand. Excellent. I love to hear it.
I'm here. Well, now I'm live on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm good. We've had a very wild, productive week of shenaniganry. We managed to potty train my daughter in 48 hours.
Wow.
We're still in the process of a little bit, but she kind of goes to the bathroom on her own and all the other things. So
awesome.
Fun joys of a parent. We played Magic live on this stream right here on Friday night.
Heck yeah,
so
you did.
That was pretty dope. TiVo took a live on-stream win. For any of you that go watch the VOD, it is wildly inappropriate for children, so keep that away from all of your kids. But it is hysterical and is kind of the embodiment of Philly love and culture. So if you enjoy that, go for it. And we got our affiliate email, which was, our goal. It took us like 2.5, 3 weeks to get there. Couldn't do it without these two wonderful gentlemen leading the stream and taking care of things. So lots of fun stuff. Working hard on Eminence, working hard in personal life. But overall, it's been a kick-ass week, and I'm excited for more to come.
Excellent. I love to hear that. That's awesome. Well, let's get down to the breakdown. I posted some links here in our note document, Shawnee. I don't know if you had a second to look over them, but the first and most important thing that happened in the subreddit this week is Mailing a Bear Sean has released another video in his series, his new content creation endeavor called Smooth Brews, where they do Magic the Gathering ASMR, and this week it is the Get Rog Monster Primer.
Oh my goodness. I didn't get to completely finish listening to it, but boy, it was a delight.
It's smoky, right? It's like it's right in your ears. It is very good. Sean has one of the best voices in Magic, I think, and this new endeavor, gosh, totally worth it. So if you would like to go check that out, I suggest that you do. It is as interesting as it sounds. Secondly, the newest metagame project update is out, and the Mind Sculptors had Squirrel Mob, the originator of the metagame project, on to discuss it. Firstly, the metagame project in and of itself, if you don't know, is basically a community-run repository of CEDH game data. So if you play like a match with your friends, you can log that into the metagame project, and it has data on like turn analysis, where things happened, and what commanders were being played, and what seat the person who won was seated in. And we found some really cool things from the metagame project over time, including the huge advantage of going first, the occurrence of some, I will say, less than meta commanders in the most played features on the breakdowns, which I guess would kind of make them meta. And a lot of other good information is gleaned from the project. And Squirrel Mob is one of the nicest people you can talk to. Very kind guy, heavily involved in community organization, and I believe is a caster for Monarch Media. So go support both the Mind Sculptors, who I am loosely affiliated with, and Squirrel Mob, and listen to that episode. Did you get a chance to listen to it at all, Shawnee?
I did not, but I normally like give a skim through on the metagame report just to see if stacks or add-ons is back on the rise.
Yeah.
You know, can do a little deck tuning from there.
Do a little tuning for tournaments. Yeah, absolutely. That's really good data. Excuse me. I'm still recovering a little bit, y'all. Sorry if I cough or hang up for a second. But we also had a very interesting thing happen, which is Thunder Farts, who will join us later. His tournament report was also on the EDH subreddit. There was some fun things involved, including pregame prep as Adderall, 3 cups of coffee, seltzer water, and a peanut butter sandwich.
Awesome.
Yeah. Getting into top 16 with a draw on your record was interesting because of the format of the tournament. It was 75-minute rounds with no turns at the end.
No turns, yeah.
So draws were easy to get.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had them. And also, the things that I really took from it and I thought were very funny are he did list later on that he had another peanut butter sandwich and some alcohol before the semifinals.
He did start drinking because he started to worry that he wasn't going to make it into the top 16, and we were telling him he was crazy, and then Thunder Farts started doing Thunder Farts things, and he made it, and he made it to the top 4, so yeah.
Yeah. He says he thinks he could have done better if he wasn't tired, hungover, and running on peanut butter sandwiches. But that's just how it is sometimes. Caffeine is OP. WotC, please ban. And then another thing that I really enjoyed was I basically just decided the best way to win was to not lose. And I don't think truer words have ever been spoken. Very sage advice from one of the good ones. And we'll talk more to him later. Very excited to hear what he has to say about things that went down. And also some information on he played this tournament on Mardu Farm. He's notable for another deck. We'll talk more about that later. We have the third part in Timmy T 1000's series on how to build your first CEDH deck, which is a series that I've really enjoyed. In this one, he goes over acquiring cards. And there are a couple things. As you know, you might know Tim from CEDH Budget Brews. And he runs a database full of sites for people with lower budgets for playing CEDH. But also, there's some full powered decks on there, and a lot of people want to play fully powered decks. And I think this article's really specifically really well went over the best solution to having a CEDH deck is to just proxy it. And then he also went over how to acquire cards, in what order you should acquire cards, if you're choosing not to proxy, when you should buy things, when you should wait for reprints, placeholders you can use instead of high-end cards. There's some really good information in there. And I think that you should definitely go check it out. That is over on the CEDH subreddit as well. It's an article that he posted there. There's some good information there. Sorry. Just
good stuff.
Losing my voice for a second.
Then, wow.
Ashani, turn your head. Says higher.
Turn my what?
Turn your head. Says higher.
What? Okay. Why? You know what? I don't trust higher.
You know what, Ashani? I think you're just probably looking really handsome today, and that's what he's thinking. You know.
Listen, it's okay. There's no ash to be found on my face, higher.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
No. Zero ash. Ashani is looking great today. Be nice to Ashani. Where are your dreads? Says Higher.
Oh, it's there. It's just pulled back.
Yeah, they're just hanging. They're just hanging. Koibito Leech, no less. Thank you for the follow. Good to see you, our director of, our assistant director. Good to see that you're following the Twitch channel. Just kidding. I love you, bud. The last thing that I wanted to talk about on the CEDH subreddit is this. There was a fun, and you know what? I figured that Sean and I would be able to riff pretty well off of this topic. In your opinion, what is the most backbreaking / saltiest decks to play against? Was a topic of some debate on the CEDH subreddit. And I just wanted to go into the overwhelming answer, at least from what I am seeing, is
Arc Sekishima.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah.
Or win conless stacks. Like there's a bunch of things. There's some attitude in there from people who said basically that it's CEDH and you should never experience salt. But I don't think people are robots, right? Everybody has excuse me. Everybody has preferences and things that they don't like to play against, and so you can't expect everyone to be a soulless, emotionless robot that just doesn't take anything into account and never experiences problems. So,
yeah, everybody's style of fun is different, also. Yeah,
certainly. Higher, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm getting there. Probably like 80%. There's still times when I need to stop for a second, as evidenced by me coughing there for a second. Sorry about that. But I think that, I definitely have decks that I don't enjoy playing against, right? Like I'd never say that someone couldn't play a deck in a pod with me, but I would silently stew a little bit over the deck choice. Like I know that Sean, you're notable for a particular reaction against Krakashima.
Yeah, it is nap time.
Yeah, you're notable for that, but I think like Krakashima is one of those decks where if the pilot is very good and executing quickly, it's not bad to play against. Also, there is like that factor of, and I think this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. Instead of getting salty, which I think we all do, and I think we all have to be very cognizant that we do get salty, but one of the things that I think that we can do as players, especially in a tournament environment, is just kind of be happy that you don't have to make any decisions for a little bit. Like, I don't know, like take a break. Tournaments are stressful, and in that minute of not having any stress when there's nothing you can do, take a second to vibe. Take a deep breath. Think for a second. Just chill. Have your good time, especially in a game against your friends, right? If you're playing against your friends, just be happy that they're having fun, because it is cool for your friends to have fun, right?
So, but also voice your opinion and let them know how salty you are, because hey,
okay, that's
also very important.
Okay,
yep,
that's a little different than the point that I was trying to get across, but
absolutely.
Sure. If your friend is Gitrog looping manually for a half an hour, you should tell him that he's being a real hosehead.
Yeah, that's the correct way.
When in doubt, Scotty has 3 answers. I don't know what that's referencing, but I have many answers. It's true.
Listen, Scott, fun. Anything that has Scott stopping his win is not a fun deck for Scott, and that's okay.
Hey,
Scott likes winning, and we
I
all
like
like
to
winning.
win. Winning is the most fun part of competitive EDH. It's winning, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So I wanted to touch on this a little bit longer as we have about 10 minutes until our guest joins us. I wanted to oh, it looks like Koibito is up in Undergrowth Stadium. Ooh, do we want to talk to Koibito for a second? Oh, okay. Deal.
Okay.
Deal. We'll talk to Koibito next week, and
Oh my
you know what?
goodness.
I'm excited. It'll be good.
Rolling
But
D20s are no crossfire, no.
okay, perfect. So I wanted to touch on that, Ashani. I think it's a fun question, right? Like I think in the end it doesn't really matter what makes you salty and what doesn't make you salty. Like if you just win and you're just playing a game for fun, but like I think it's fun to touch on, right?
I agree.
Ashani, other than Meatball and Company, what decks make you the most salty, or do you have the least fun playing against?
Least fun playing against. I mean, Kark Sekishima, definitely in the top tier.
Okay.
Second would be any, and I'm throwing shade to whoever is listening, preferably Bryant, but any double wrong silence pod. Ah, my goodness gracious.
Why you don't want to go very fast at all times?
My goodness gracious! I did not see a turn 2. I just did not, and that was just. I was just so toxic. At the end of that, I got 4-0 in less than an hour.
Mike in the Twitch chat saying, "Stop hating on the Meatball, Ashani. I will end the stream."
4, I tell you, in less than an hour. I did not win one game. The other 2 decks that was not Rock Silence didn't win a game. We just got steamrolled, and yeah, that wasn't fun. That wasn't fun at all.
So that kind of goes into my question. Goes into my second question.
Okay.
Why do those make you salty?
I don't know. I think at the end of the day, even if it's a casual mindset, I would like to play Magic, and making a land drop and losing the next turn. Listen, not a great feeling. I must tell you.
That's fair.
Felt like I was getting pump stop, and I did not like that feeling. And I went back to the drawing board with the deck, and I'm like, you know what? This pod doesn't exist.
That pod doesn't exist ever again, right?
So
yeah.
The minute I see 3 times wrong silence pods outside the world, then I might take a break from Magic.
Yeah,
but until
that's
then,
fair.
Then, my number 3 would be Scott's. What was that mid-power deck you enjoy playing? The Boris one.
Which one, Sean? Oh my gosh, there's so many.
The one that I followed you religiously at every stream and roasted you on.
Aurelia. Yeah, Aurelia, the Lord Leader.
Yeah.
Hey, it turns out I don't like playing that deck. So,
lovely.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, so chat, if you're not familiar, Shawnee and I go back quite a way at this point. And one of the things that he did when I was about to win with Aurelia was go into the stream chat on the streams that I was on and say, he's going to win like this, please don't let him do it. So that was fun. If I had to name my saltiest decks, it would be the following decks.
All right.
I think any non-Timna based win conless stacks deck. Not because I think they're bad, because I think they're good and I think they win. I want to win is the issue.
I think you'll be nice. And I'll be that person that won't be nice. No, they're absolute garbage, Scott. Especially are we talking about the 8-drop green creature?
I don't know that there's a Timna there.
Oh yeah,
There's
the partner. The partner.
Yeah, there's
We're
a
not gonna
Timna
talk
there.
about it. Oh, okay. All right.
Listen.
Okay.
Overrun effects win the game, okay? Let's be nice.
Not when there ain't mana, good sir.
Hey, Jewel Lotus exists, buddy.
All right, cool. My fault. You're right. You're right.
I think the other decks that just kind of drive me nuts are...
Narset?
No, I wasn't even gonna throw shade. I wasn't even gonna throw shade at you this time, buddy. The other decks that tend to drive me nuts are the decks I don't have answers for, right? Like, I play a pretty wide suite of answers in my decks, but there are just like, it's to the point where I don't have an answer for 8/8 dinosaurs, right? Like, if someone's flipping 8/8 dinosaurs into play, I don't have an answer for that. Like, Yasharn is another one, because like I can't even deluge Yasharn. So
the Piggy is hard to play against.
Piggy is tough. I love, like, I care for a Yasharn player, obviously, but it can be just absolutely backbreaking. Oh yes, and any deck running Combustible Gear Hulk, I'm not a big fan of. Crossfire Cat, thank you for reminding me of that. It's a
Crossfire decks still count though, does it?
Crossfire plays CEDH decks, at least arguably so.
It's a very big argument, but with love, Crossfire, with love.
Okay, I'm taking shots at my good friend Crossfire Cat, Dante MTG. What's up? We're just spending the last few minutes here talking about what things and what decks make us a little bit salty.
Let us know, chat. What's your deck? What is the deck that makes you salty? Well, stuff
yes.
is up here.
What decks make you salty? Hire earlier said Big Flips is the saltiest deck to play against.
Listen, it been growing some salt, I'm telling you.
That is pretty pog. Chat, I'll take a moment to remind you that we have made affiliate status and we can now accept subscriptions.
Give us them biddies.
If you would like to subscribe, and you have Amazon Prime, you can use your Amazon Prime subscription to subscribe to one channel for free each month. And that could be us. If you like it, we'd love if you consider us for that. You can also, as Sean was saying, donate bits if you think we're worth that. And now...
Dante's following. Thank you, Dante.
I think we have a Thunder Farts moving in to join the chat.
Bearded Devil, thank you for the follow.
Bad threat assessment makes me salty. Any deck higher plays I'm salty against.
I was once there, so I understand.
There's Dante. Any deck higher plays I'm salty against.
At Tegrid, and the journey through Kinnan has been many salt mines. The journey through Kinnan.
I've loved getting Void Winnower flipped on me. It's great. It's the best. We have clown emotes from Hellenium. That's a little harsh. And our guest is joining us in just a minute here. Oh, there he is. Hello.
Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing tonight?
So good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just got done eating dinner. Just got kind of winding down for the night, you know.
Did you have a peanut butter sandwich and some Adderall for dinner?
No comment.
Okay.
No comment.
Right. We actually just touched on your tournament report a little bit moments ago.
That's exciting.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I think we can kind of start with that a little bit if you're okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay,
sure.
So you just played in the Chaos 3 tournament. You were in the top 4. You were a finalist at the final table. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I liked your section on pregame prep. Adderall, coffee, soda waters, and a peanut butter sandwich. I'm interested to hear what else you do on tournament days to get ready for them.
Well, to be absolutely honest, yeah, that's about it. But realistically though, because I think I woke up late for the players meeting, I took a shower, but like for me at least, like to kind of get myself into the aspect of trying to focus, I always kind of try and dress up a little bit nice. So for the entire day I was wearing like some decent jeans, I was wearing my nice dress shoes, um just because for me at least that always puts me in the headspace of being able to focus. But for the tournament though, at least I was talking about for a little bit, I was getting different perspectives, I was trying to really use those higher order thinking skills for every game that I played up until the tournament. Kind of going, okay, well, what could I have done differently here that would have led to a more positive result for myself? And even during the tournament, I kept on doing that because I think that I think that the tournament prep doesn't really just stop when the tournament begins. It's for until it's over.
Yeah, I mean, I also enjoyed. I was talking to you basically right after the games were over, and you were able to identify the point at which you could have done something differently, and talk about that and understand what you needed to change. Hello, everybody. We're back. You just saw Cole shaking his shoulders out on stream. It was really nice, wasn't it? Now, Cole joins us to talk about some important things here. Number one, Cole, you notably switched decks recently that you play. You are notable for a different deck, but you switched to Mardu Farm. What was the thing that made you do that?
I'm not really sure because I've always really enjoyed Tim Majesco for a long time. I've had a couple of friends who've let me play the deck a few times, and
yeah,
I really enjoyed the play style of it. But just because I've always kind of been enamored in other projects, I don't like stopping something and then beginning another thing.
Yeah.
I was always kind of just on a one-track mind. But really, it's just kind of it's kind of the polar opposite. It's kind of like I wonder what this is like. I wonder what it's like to cast a Dockside and then just go ad Nas and just win. Just on turn 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really interesting so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'll probably revisit Azami at some point, but for now, I'm just enjoying things as they are.
Good. I guess that knocks out question number 2. What deck did you play before? The lead is buried and the MacGuffin is revealed. It was Azami.
Yeah.
You had a list on the database for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You are notable for I think having the longest tenure of any deck on the database, which is interesting. Love to see it. So you switched to Mardu Farm. You thought it was fun before. I will ask you, between your experience on Azami and Mardu Farm, do you feel like a more complete player now that you've played Mardu for a while?
Yeah, because when I was playing Azami previously, I was really kind of constantly having to pay attention to the entire board, being like, oh, well, this guy's doing this and he's probably gonna do that, and these other guys are gonna have to react in this way or whatever, and I'm gonna have to try and find a way to make it all work,
Yeah.
But really now I'm just kind of I am either the one that's trying to be the threat, or I am trying to do something that makes it significantly harder, and that might be jamming my own threat. I'm trying to think here. I think the perfect example is just my semifinals round and then the finals round is that in the semifinals I had a hand where it was a turn 2 ad nauseum with red elemental blast backup, and I was if I top deck a black source, because I didn't have the second black source in my opening set, I was I win, because everybody kind of got around the Tepesh Problems Vampire 2 was countered, and I was okay, this is great. And I sat there, I top decked the Badlands, and I was ad nauseum. the blue farm player tried to miscast it. Obviously, the Elemental Blast got there, and then it was kind of just a matter of piecing together a win.
SSG into Reb, was it?
No, it was my turn 1 was Pro Mox pitching Professional Facebreaker, Swamp, Grim Monolith. Turn 2, play Badlands.
Okay.
Tap them to play the Ad Nauseam Red Elemental Blast with the Chrome Mox, because the biggest issue was that I had to have specifically the red mana up also. But again, that was kind of just piecing together the win. But then it was in the finals, my opening hand was something like Vampire Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, Marsh Flats, Talisman of Hierarchy, and either Pyroblast or LED. Or no, there was also like a grinding station in there somewhere. But it was kind of like one of those hands where like, okay, I have to kind of sit back for a little bit. Turn 3, people are gonna interact, I will win. And it ended up being the person going before me get probed me before my turn that I would go off, and they went for the win. But everybody already knows how the situation went out played around, you know.
Yeah.
But it was kind of really just, I'm either being the aggressor, I am the person that's like, you need to do something right now.
Yeah.
And that's a really different element than playing a mono blue deck that you're really just trying to interact on the stack as much as possible.
Yeah. I think I don't really have many notes there. I kind of play more controlling decks myself, and I picked up Mardu Farm to kind of establish some different brain patterns and like become a better player. And I've felt a lot the same. Mardu Farm, you kind of have to pick your window a lot more selectively. Carefully than other decks have to. And I think knowing when to sit back in the cut a little bit and draw cards with Tymna versus when I need to Underworld Breach right now and win the game. It certainly like expands your abilities as a player. So that's cool that you've had kind of the same experience. I guess I'll ask, how is threat assessment changed for you now?
So previously, I was always kind of paying attention more to, I want to say that I was always kind of trying to see, well, which person am I going to be wanting to deal with the most, because they are going to be the person that I can't interact with on the stack. You know, like any spells like Finale of Devastation, Eldritch Evolution, Neoform, like, okay, like these people are the people that are playing it, those people I'm going to kind of focus in on, because the rest of the table is going to probably deal with each other. But now I'm kind of just more like, okay, who's on Thorkel Console? Who's on the win conditions that win through silence? And I'm also really like, can I bully the table enough to get there? But it's also just a thing of like, I think I don't know, because I've always been off-lit threat assessment. I say as somebody who's been playing mono blue for the last 5 years.
So probably also immodest or extra modest rather.
Yeah, but I feel like now, rather than threat assessment, it's more of, am I going to be attempting to punish somebody who's trying to be the threat, or am I going to become the threat?
Right.
Like, it's kind of like the meme where it's like, oh no, call an ambulance, but not for me, you know?
I love that. That is a reference that my aged self enjoys. Yeah. Excellent.
So, for my question is, was this your first tournament?
I played in Founders Cup, but I played as Zombie then, so this is my first tournament with Mad Farm.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. So
go ahead.
It turns out that you've just kind of been lying in wait to spike the tournaments.
I don't know about that. I just kind of sat there. I was like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna try and win, you know, because the best way to win is not lose. So
I was talking about that earlier. That was my favorite line from your tournament report. Best way to win is not lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty sage advice.
But is it the best way to win is to win? I mean, I don't understand.
I mean,
I think that in specifically Mardu, in specifically the Mad Farm archetype, winning is something where Sorry, I'm just getting distracted by something over here. You are trying to present a win as early as possible. You're trying to present a threat that can stop a win as early as possible. So I think that, like, again, kind of going back to my semifinals round, I also had a Ranger Captain of Eos in my hand. So it was like, okay, if this ad nauseum gets stopped, I have another threat, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, this Ranger Captain is going to be a significant, like, stop. But also, like, in my round 4, I reanimated my opponent's Spell Seeker, and I tutored up my own silence. Because I was like, you guys are drawing way too many cards. There's too much stuff happening. I was like, I'm going to hold this silence, and I'm going to hold you hostage for a couple turns to try and sculpt my hand. Because I knew that the person before me in turn order also had a silence.
Oh, nice.
And so it was kind of like a Western standoff. And so we kind of sat there for a little bit, but eventually the person before me got there because they had silence, but then they were playing Blue Farm. And so they were able to sculpt their hand a little bit more easily than I could.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say that is one of kind of the detriments of Mardu Farm, I guess. Like, you're very fast, but in the situation where you're required to play the mid game, you can do the mid range thing, but some decks do the mid range thing better, do the sculpt thing better. But
yeah, I've also just kind of been learning that I'm not trying to be reactive. I'm trying to be proactive more than anything.
Yep.
Just because, like, a single silence won't do anything. I never expect the single silence to get there.
Yeah.
I hope that's kind of a roadblock, and I hope that sometimes you get lucky, because usually if I see a silence, and if I know, like, my opponent had a silence, I'm like, they probably don't have much other interaction I'm going to bet on. And, you know, I was obviously wrong on Saturday, but sometimes you get there with just the silence.
Yeah. I guess I'll ask you next. You played a lot of mono blue, which has pretty much answers for everything in the form of either bounce spells or removal. How do you feel about the ability of colors other than blue to answer relevant threats now that you've played Mad Farm for a little bit?
I'm finding that my ability to answer threats is highly pod dependent. Because I think that in some games, like if I'm playing in a non-blue pod, I'm looking to see if there's a stacks player, or if I am gonna be trying to race, or if I'm gonna have to or if I have to tutor up a Source of Plowshares at some point in the game, you know? Because I mean, there's a local Get Rog player in my meta, and then there's a Teshar player for some odd reason, and then there's a Rakdos Doomsday player. So those pods generally are like max 10 minutes. And so really it's kind of a thing where it's like I need to tutor silence, Source of Plowshares. But then it's like another matchups is kind of like, if there's a blue player, I can kind of sit back and let the table deal with anything, you know, because I don't need to deal with everything. I can kind of let the table do its thing, because nobody expects the Mardu player to have interaction. I think that interaction and answers to threats are important in non-blue colors. But I also think that when you're not in blue, specifically, like, let's say, like, non-blue, you can kind of sit back a little bit easier, and you can kind of go, okay, guys, I have nothing, so you got to deal with this.
Yeah.
But then there's times where you have to be the race. You know, you have to make the race happen.
Yeah, to a certain extent, you can more easily just kind of sit back and say, hey, you have to answer this. And in some cases, maybe even you should be doing that.
I would like to say that I've been in Cole for the past few months till now. The growth of a player has been pretty tremendous from the mono blue days to now. It's like playing against a different player. I don't know. For Scott, it's definitely a great improvement. Great improvement since he's done it, and that's great job, dude. Congrats on your performance. Definitely.
I think it's really easy to bury that lead that you were in the top 4 of like a pretty huge tournament.
Yeah.
But I mean, you did a really good job playing the deck, and I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, that's even the outlook on how you treat threat assessment and the game itself is pretty good. And I
Yeah.
hope a lot of other players take up that, because for my poor performance in the tournament, what I realized a lot was it was more like goldfishing. I don't know if you saw a lot of that in your pods, but I felt like it was like people just picking up their decks, playing by themselves, and like just going through the motions of what they drew, versus playing towards the pot and playing not to lose. And I think that's really a big thing that players should pick up right now, is playing not to lose and playing to your pod. Because the best way to win, truthfully, is to not lose first.
Yeah.
And then think about winning after. And that's definitely a good lesson for Magic players. I won't even say CD players, for Magic players to learn.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that. I can tell you right now that I tried just going through the motions and goldfishing in my first round, and the pod was Oswald, Timna Halana Hulk, myself, and then Jetmir, like snowball stacks, kind of. Comedian was playing it. I have no idea what was happening.
Yeah, Ian's very crazy pile of Naya cards.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Ian was a highlight of that pod, and it was the most miserable round of the day, because we went to time, and I just remember my hand was like Demonic Tutor. My opening hand was Demonic Tutor, Wishclaw, like Mox Opal, Gemstone Caverns. Just like some crazy like turn 2 or 3 win attempt. And I was like, oh cool, I'm just gonna tutor for Dockside, you know, like that's gonna be great. Well, turn 1 Oswald, Deafening Silence. Turn 2, and then the Timna Halana player goes like, just plays a dork. I go and play my Wishclaw, kind of get it out, because I'm like, there's gonna be rule of law. Ian plays land and plays a dork, and then it progresses into this ridiculous game of Deafening Silence, Collector Oof, Tocatli Honor Guard, OG Thalia, Sphere of Resistance, Limvala, Either Sworn Canonist, and I just remember sitting there thinking, I really hate my life right now, and I really wish I was like, I really want to do some day drinking right now, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, it's 9:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I just want to like forget this pod ever happened. But I mean, like, that was kind of a thing where I was like, I was gonna like try and like goldfish the pod, but I was like, but everybody's like, no, that's not happening.
It's not gonna happen. Sometimes it's a struggle for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a brutal pod to begin with for a mid-range ad nauseum deck. So
yeah. It is. I think it is like more apt to call it a mid-range ad nauseum deck at this point. But there's been a lot of hubbub about that in the Twitter sphere today, naming decks more. Naming decks more efficiently. But here, I have such love for the deck name Dommy Mommies that I'm not ready to move on to calling it Timna Jeska mid-range ad nauseum. I can't.
Oh yeah, and like after the tournament was over, they're like, okay guys, what do you want your decks what do you want your deck names to be? I was like, Azami finds her mommies.
Azami finds her mom.
Oh
no. Oh no!
Yeah, because the zombie deck I played was Orphan Azami, and so it's just like, this is perfect.
No, she's got 2 mommies. Perfect. Awesome. Absolutely.
That kind of plays more into the topic of deck naming, and I have my own opinions on the language used in the CEDH community, but that's probably a topic for another time.
Yeah, that's a topic for another time.
Yeah, we'll think about bringing you back to talk more about that. I mean, I am notable for deck names such as Medium Bean for like Jaleva and like Thras, like THC is the name of my hermit, is the name of actually Sean and I's Hermit Druid deck.
I love it.
THC, Thrasios Hermit Consult, because I think Breakfast might not be in the list anymore. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
we've had some pretty unique names over the
We certainly have. And maybe there is like merit to more inclusive names. But I will ask, the next thing is, you talked about Azami finding her mommies. Notably, if anybody knows you, if anybody's heard of you, they know that your Azami deck is ridiculously shiny. It's like very blinged out. It was it as blinged out as it basically could be?
Yep, it's every single card that can be foil is foil.
Is foil. Are you gonna do the same thing for Mardu?
Hell no.
Jessica? No. Okay. All right.
No, I'm actually just going for as cheap as possible versions. I am, however, going for as many white bordered cards as I can, just because I think that
nice.
The crispness of some white bordered cards is very nice, and like,
yeah.
I mean, when you're fetching for like Badlands or Scrubland, like that's really easy to find, and also like Manic Rift. I'm oddly sad that there's no white border ad nauseum, but I think that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But no, with Mad Farm specifically, I'm really just going for cards that I like, really beat up cards to kind of play into the Mad Farm joke, you know, because when you're mad, you kind of damage the cards. I have like I have a beat to hell foil Grand of Ultra in there that got from a friend of mine.
I really loved that. I loved your post about that too, and how it meant more because it's like it has character. I love that. I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, and like I'm a very nostalgic person because like a lot of people probably know, I have a ton of just random copies of Azami, and so whenever I go to an event or if I'm like trading with somebody, I go, hey, if I send you an Azami, can you sign it and send it back to me? And I actually gave Mikey 50 of them for Fun City, because I have another 300 in the binder here somewhere. But like, I just really love it because, like, you know, like these are already signed by some random people, you know.
There's the one.
I actually got one of these in the mail today from somebody. I had no idea who the hell it came from, until they sent me a message saying that, hey, I sent you an Azami. I was like, what? But that made a lot more sense. But really, I think for this, I'm going for like more nostalgic cards.
Yeah.
So like, I have like the Diabolic Intent I got from Chaos. I was like, I messaged Chaos afterwards, like, hey, I have a really weird question to ask you. He's like, what? I'm like, can you sign the Diabolic Intent, or can you write something on it? He's like, yeah, sure, I got you. And that's so, really cool. One of the questions from the finals was, do I have a Talisman of Indulgence or Talisman of Hierarchy on the field? And I answered it incorrectly because I've been playing Magic for 11 hours at that point. And so he wrote Hierarchy. He wrote Hierarchy versus Indulgence, Chaos 3 on the Diabolic Intent.
I love that. That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was honestly a way better answer than I was expecting. Like, it was. There was so much to that answer. It was very deep. So getting away from like the cards in the deck, how did it feel playing the deck in the tournament? Was it like, was it everything that you expected it to be? Was it easy? Was it challenging? How sweaty were you? You know.
Oh, how sweaty I was! I don't even know how to answer that, but because I mean the air conditioning went out after hour 3 or 4 for me.
And I definitely meant physical temperature and not anything about like how much effort you had to put in. Yeah, definitely.
On the table, definitely the temperature.
Yeah. I really feel like the deck was. I mean, it might just be me being really weird, but like I really feel like I wasn't thinking as hard because I felt like I was like, I have a very linear game plan. It gets kind of like, it can divulge a little bit, it can kind of change up a little bit, you know. But like overall, I'm like, go fast. If I can't go fast, stop and then go fast. You know?
Go burr.
Because like, I just know that one of my games, I kind of sat there for a little bit. I think I was sitting on a win condition for 3 turns. I was just kind of sculpting my hand with Timna, and then there's this fight over a Malcolm on the field. And the guy was like Deadly Rollick, and he's like, Dispel. And then that just kind of happened. And then on my turn, I was like, oh, Underworld Breach. And that got me there.
Nice.
But it felt good. I think that like a couple of really noble changes I had when compared to Dami Mommies is that I'm not playing PETA. I'm playing Grim Tutor over it. and that made my ad nauseas feel way better because I could just be so much more aggressive with it. And then also I'm playing Demonic Consultation because there are so many A plus B tutors in the deck that it's like sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, you know.
Are you also on Praetor's Grasp?
Yes, I think I'm on like 99% of the tutors that I can be.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, what's up?
I don't say the bold man here playing console looking for the A or the B combo. Okay.
Hey, hey, that's a man after my own heart.
Listen,
Ask Anxiety Elemental in the chat. I murder myself with consult. That's just like part of the swag.
Too bold for me, sir. Too bold.
Well, I mean, like if you're just trying to go fast as it is, and you have one combo in your hand that you know is gonna win, because your outlets in the command zone is kind of like you don't care about the rest of your deck.
That's what I'm saying. You can consult for LED. If you have salvagers, you can consult for LED. It's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of like
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
The only time it's backfired on me was when I Demonic Consultation for an ad nauseam, and I exiled 70 cards out of my deck, and that was really awkward. And then I sat there and I was like, I'm just not gonna cast this ad naus anymore. But you know, high risk, high reward.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally,
someone who gets it. Finally, someone who gets it.
I totally disagree, but hey, if it wins you games, then more power to you.
I guess the last question I have regarding switching decks is, do you have any tips for someone looking to try a new deck for the first time?
I really think it's just a matter of, if you see a deck that you're interested in it, kind of take a bit more of a look at it. If you have the ability to, just proxy it up for a couple of games, see how it feels, you know. Not even good proxies, just like...
Yeah, pen and paper or printed slips, yeah,
like with Mad Farm, because I originally had the entire deck proxied. Nothing in the deck was real, and then I kind of got to a point where a friend of mine gave me a gamble. I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to play this. And then I was like, I really enjoyed this deck, and so I kind of just did the slow-ish, not slow at all, actually, transition to making it into unproxied.
Yeah.
But, I'm still a few cards away, but like...
You're getting there.
Just really not being afraid to dip your toes in the water, because we're in a format where there's such an extensive card pool that you're playing there's like 25,000 different individual cards in Magic, and then like there's like a list of like 500 cards that consist of the CDH meta, but like that's a lot of different decks.
Yeah, it's a lot of cards, a lot of different decks. I mean, there's like 40 plus on the database alone, and then there's a bunch of other decks that people play that aren't on the database. There's so many things you can do. I agree. I think playing a new deck is not as hard as it seems. A lot of the times I was noticing, back when I owned physical cards, I was noticing that I could, just from the card pool that I already had, make the other deck, right? Like if you have most of that Sultai core that comprises most CEDH decks, you can add like 15 cards on either end. And Helena Im says it helps when you have me. Yeah. That is true. If you can get in touch with the person who maintains the database list for the deck.
He doesn't even play the deck. Get out of here, Hal.
He plays the deck. He put it back together just because people said he wasn't playing the deck.
Whatever.
Well, I just remember I messaged Hal one time, because there was a point in time where my meta was super interaction heavy, and I was like, Hal, what do I do in this situation? I'm not winning games. And he's like, just be better. Just win.
Just win forehead. Exactly.
Yeah, see, that's not good.
I say that's great advice. I say it all the time. Just win.
That's terrible advice. How do I beat this meta, Hal? Just win. Yeah, great advice, bro. Great advice.
I eventually got there. It took a little bit of finagling.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Cole. It is about 5 after 8 p.m., which means it is time for the lightning round.
Oh gosh, I'm not ready.
Are you prepared for the lightning?
No.
Okay. Too bad.
That's all right. I'm never ready.
These are short answers, rapid fire questions, and we're just gonna go through them, and then we're gonna take a little break, see how we feel, and then maybe come back for a game of CEDH. So,
Okay.
number one, what makes you, Thunderfarts, Cole, and a unique CEDH player?
The fact I have 500 zombies.
Okay, that's a good answer. Asked and answered. What have you been obsessing over recently? And this could be magic or anything else.
Probably my new apartment I'm moving into in the next couple of weeks, because I don't want to be in a gross apartment.
Excellent. Doesn't look
Okay.
too gross.
No, this is an.
Okay, this is an attic. Okay.
I'm moving into an apartment in 2 weeks.
Oh, we got a
keep giving-
subscriber.
Oh, the DDM Game Train. Subscribe to Tier 1. The subscribe button's working. That's very
Yeah.
exciting.
Let's go.
Refresh your chats and click your subscribe buttons. Let's go. We'll give you 15 seconds to refresh the page so you can click the subscribe button.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess the next question is, what do you play other than Magic the Gathering? Any video games? Any board games?
I mean, I don't really play many other games, just because it's kind of like video games I got off of back when I went to college. But I used to play Call of Duty semi-competitively.
Okay. Little game battles action?
What?
Little game battles action?
Yeah, I used to play a lot of like Modern Warfare, and like I think I was really into Black Ops 2 and Advanced Warfare. That's gonna show how much of a boot
Nice.
I am.
Nice.
I got invited to go to a couple of tournaments, but I was like, I probably need to get an
Ooh.
education more.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then once I got to college, it's like I don't want to like get too distracted. But I've also put like $3,000 into Skyrim, and that's a bit of an obsession, because I've had
Okay. Yeah. That's
I've
a lot.
I've had the original copy since 2011.
Okay. All right.
And
I
That
bought
is a guilty
Skyrim for
pleasure.
my 360. I got it on release day for my Xbox 360. So
Never,
dude.
never touched the game. Never will. But yeah.
dang, it's
all
so
right.
good.
it's just like I'm such a sucker for nostalgia, and so it's just like being able to go back to that, and, like it's just such a nostalgic feeling, and I'm just a sucker for it. That's all I could say.
Guess the game for me for that one would be Gears of War.
Ooh, that's such a good one too, though.
Gears of War was a very good game. Very good game. All right, let's see what else we got. What's your favorite deck to play in all of Magic the Gathering in any format?
Manaless Dredge.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
All right.
Yep, that
Did I
was
expect that?
that was my
Cool.
only legacy deck that I ever
Buddy?
played. Oh my God, Scott, you have it.
Here is Manaless Dredge
Oh
right
shit.
here.
Oh, I love it.
It's the only. I love vintage and legacy for the reasons of Manaless Dredge. So
Yeah,
Uh,
I know Manaless Dredge is not a good deck. It's just
No.
that I was a
it's
poor
fun though.
college- Dude, I know. I was a poor college student. I was like, I don't want to fucking buy duels. And I was like, I can build this legacy deck for $200. It's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And
Unless if you play the vintage version, there are 4 bazaars in it. So
yeah, no, that
Oh,
never happened.
how with the sub? Let's go.
hey,
No, I will say that reminds me of the time I passed a friend of mine and I passed up on a time walk for $400 right before everything got stupid expensive.
Mhm.
And I would be lying if I said I don't think about that sometimes.
a little financial security from the time walk.
Oh yeah, no, I actually bought Expeditions and Masterpieces instead, so I didn't really not much financial stability.
Unfortunate. Do you have any projects going on right now outside of Magic the Gathering?
Well, I mean, my car is an ongoing project.
Okay. In a good way or a bad way?
But halfway.
Halfway.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's my car I've had it for the last few years, and it's a bit of it's a beater, to put it lightly.
Okay.
It's got hail
Yeah.
damage. My mother backed into it a while ago.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a funny one because she was cussing my dad out for backing into my ex's car at the time, and then the next morning she backed into my car with the truck, and she backed into it so badly that I could not open the door.
Wow.
And so I eventually took a flat bar and I just was like, I'm opening this door one way or another. So
have you been turning your own wrenches on your car, trying to get everything going?
Oh, it drives fine. I just had to this past weekend I just replaced the struts, but
Nice.
I kind of, yeah, that sucked.
I imagine it did, but it's cool that you can do it.
Yeah, I
Oh.
do.
Teenage Mushroom Brew with the 100 bits.
Oh shit!
Woo! We're on hype train, everybody. If you want to keep it going, you know what to do, and it's
Let's
money.
go, bits. And Joe Zero. I don't know.
Joe
With
010 with the 6-month sub. Thank you
I think-
so much.
I think Joe's in the Chaos tournament also.
Yes, he was.
Probably, yeah.
He-
That seems
yes.
like a Joe thing.
He
He's-
was there.
He has a very cute dog as his profile picture, and I love it.
Bubbles. Yes.
Bubbles. Yeah.
Bubbles. Yes.
We need more bubble pictures.
Absolutely. I agree. Cole, the last
Yes.
question in the lightning round is usually this question, and here is the question. What is the sexiest soup?
The sexiest soup.
Uh-huh.
Probably something with oysters.
Oysters?
Yeah, because oysters
Because
are.
they're an aphrodisiac?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's such a basic answer. Oh my god.
Scott, look at me. I am incredibly basic.
I know, you look like your blood is pumpkin spice lattes for sure.
Dude, I am the classic suburban white dad-looking guy. I cook steaks, I grill, and then I under-season all of my food.
Okay, do you prefer propane or charcoal?
I have no preference.
Okay,
Is it
then you're not. No, then
You're not that suburban
You're
then.
not. No, you're not that suburban.
Taste the meat, not the heat. Okay, sorry.
So,
The real last question though is if you had to, using the item that is closest to you right now, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Oh, no. Dude, horses are terrifying as it is. They eat meat, but like, I don't know. It's such a difficult. With the item closest to me,
Yeah. Well, you can use your hands or the item closest to you, peanut butter cups. Yeah, probably not it. Yeah, I mean, you could maybe distract the horse-sized duck with the peanut butter cups.
I will try and shove it up the the horse-sized duck's nostrils if they even have those. I don't know. That's all I can come up with.
Okay, all right, excellent. Cole, thanks so much for your time and answering all our questions.
Gonna button it up as well here. Thank you, everybody, for coming into the chat, subscribing, being our first subs, doing all the things. I appreciate y'all. Scotty, do you want to wrap it up professionally? Because I'm not that guy.
Yeah, here we go. On behalf of all of us at Eminence TV, my name is Scoots. I'm here with Ashani and Mike, and we had a great time tonight. We hope that you'll join us again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great night, and we love you all. Good night.
bye.